That's exactly what it wants. Not to mention, you'd be giving it a way out of here, a way to spread. It's like a virus. The landscape of horror is littered with well-meaning ideas and attempts. You could go absolutely insane with the ungodly amount of things that almost was, that could have been, that should have worked, and on and on and on. I guess sometimes if you fly too close to the sun, you'll have to pay the price and fall. John Carpenter flew too close to the sun with his version of The Thing in 1982, and at first, it seemed like he got burned. But as time went by after its theatrical release, fans started to get it, started to understand how amazing of a film that it is. The courage to do a remake paid off, as even to this day, John Carpenter's The Thing is considered as a bona fide masterpiece and is arguably his greatest film in his stellar career of great films. Enter director Matthias Van Hannigan, tasked with following up John Carpenter's film with not a sequel or a remake, but a prequel. Cue the dramatic pause.
Dummies! Suggesting dummies! Dummies! Excuse me.
For most movies, especially one like The Thing, where the ending is so important, a prequel has a finite amount of surprise to add to the existing story. The truth of the matter is that the producers didn't think a remake of Carpenter's film would be necessary, as it was so great. So the pitch was made to Universal to do a prequel to this film instead. The question is, would fans discover a worthy film within it, or will it fail like the imposters did during the fillings test? Let's get down to brass tacks. In this Why You Hate video, and by the way, I recently did a Why You Hate Alien Romulus, Why You Hate Halloween 2, Dawn of the Dead, and many more. Check them out if you haven't already, or if you need some fun and a good horror discussion, check them out again. It's not going to hurt, I promise.
So fuck your shit up, boy.
Also, if you would personally like to help me decide new episodes and much more while supporting this channel, join our channel membership program by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. It's a member perk for our movies fanatics and higher level. You know you're a movie fanatic. We all are. So as I was saying, I'm going to go over reasons why some fans have issues with The Thing from 2011, including multiple things, pun intended, that I know will be a strong debate in this community for the lovers of this film and the detractors of it. I will also attempt, if at all possible, to show how some issues might not hold as much weight as they seem. So get your warm gear on, stay away from huge blocks of ice with a life form in it, and make sure your dental health is in order. Here are the reasons why you hate The Thing 2011. Number 1. Being greenlit. In early 2009, Variety reported the launch of a project to film a prequel possibly following MacReady's brother during the events leading up to the opening moments of the 1982 film, with Matthias Van Hannigan Jr. as the director and Ronald D. Moore as the writer. Van Hannigan became involved in the project when his first planned feature film, a sequel to the Dawn of the Dead remake, a zombie film taking place in Las Vegas, written and produced by Zack Snyder, who directed the Dawn of the Dead remake, and co-produced by Abraham and Newman, called Army of the Dead, was canceled by the studio 3 months before the production began. Needing to start all over again, he asked his agent to see if there was a The Thing project in development, since Alien from 1979 and The Thing from 1982 are his favorite films. As a fan of Carpenter's film, he was interested in the project because, being European himself, he had always wondered what happened at the Norwegian camp. Many fans were hesitant for a prequel to be done. For that matter, a remake or sequel would have also been met with skepticism. I believe it speaks on 2 levels. First, The Thing is a film that stands on its own and works wonderfully that way. the mystery of what happened at the Norwegian camp sets a bleak and uneasy tone to the film. Our characters don't know the gravity of the situation that they are in, and we as the audience don't either. It's a fantastic setup in that film, and it carries throughout the whole runtime. The 2011 film was going to unnecessarily give all of that mystery away to us on a silver platter. I wasn't hungry for it, to be clear. Not knowing the backstory was fine in my book. Secondly, prequels are always a tough sell, and rarely get past the issues of retcons and diminishing the film that it's preceding. A lot of that is due in part to how much story can you actually craft. The Thing as a story is very lean, and it can only backtrack so much. This was a huge task at hand for everyone involved with this project. They needed to tell an interesting story that would get the viewers invested in knowing what happened before the tragedy that befell U.S. Outpost Number 31. Director Matthias Van Hennigan said that the film would show the alien creature in its most pure form, as it was discovered in its ship by the Norwegians. However, it is not revealed whether this is the creature's original form or the form of another creature that it assimilated. Number 2. Familiar story. Writer Eric Heiserer said, quote, "It's a really fascinating way to construct a story because we're doing it by autopsy.
Inconceivable!
By examining very, very closely everything we know about the Norwegian camp and about the events that happened there from the photos and the video footage that's recovered from a visit to the base. The director, producer, and I have gone through it countless times, marking, there's a fire axe in the door. We have to account for that. We're having to reverse engineer it. So those details all matter to us because it all has to make sense." End quote.
And you blew it! You blew it!
For better or for worse, the story is very similar to Carpenter's film. We have a team of researchers that have to deal with paranoia, fear, and tension while trying to stay alive and a step ahead of the Thing. Fans that love the other films will truly find a lot to love in this one, I feel. I remember the first time watching this movie, and I was very happy to be back in this world. It has a simplicity and a beauty to it that is also what makes it terrifying, scary, and supremely claustrophobic. All of the scenery and the natural beauty of Antarctica hit you like a frozen snowball that your number one enemy in grade school just beelined at your unsuspecting head. On the other side of the iceberg, there are some fans that feel having a similar story diminishes this film and is a middle finger to the Carpenter film. In plain speak, this movie adds nothing new and is riding the coattails of the legendary one that preceded it.
Yay!
I can get that criticism, I truly do, but there are several things, pun intended again, that this film does do that makes it feel fresh during its runtime. The motivations of the characters are in direct conflict with each other, which makes the paranoia and the distrust maybe even more heightened than in Carpenter's movie. The cast of the characters in Thing 82 were all on the same page, and they worked well with each other as illustrated during their many scenes of dialogue. The 2011 prequel turned that on its head, providing multiple cliques or groups of the team, and in my opinion, it was a great choice story-wise. Do you have an issue with the story being similar? Tell the truth, because we all want to hear it.
It is not in the file. It is not.
Number 3, the characters. I was pleasantly surprised that, for the most part, I enjoyed the characters of The Thing 2011. Kate Lloyd is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Norwegians and also the Americans that come into it, when they find this alien frozen in the ice, it's initially extremely exciting, and their first thought is, we're going to be rich and famous, we've found an alien,
She is a paleontologist that is offered the chance to join the team at the outpost. Kate is a smart character who is also very clever and brave. And by the way, did you hear what song she was listening to when we first see her in the film? Hint, hint. She was a great addition to this universe in my humble opinion. In order to be different from Kurt Russell as the 1982 film's protagonist, R.J. MacReady, Kate Lloyd was written to have similar traits as the character of Ellen Ripley from the Alien film series. Not a bad idea whatsoever. We also have Carter, played by Joel Edgerton, who is also a fun character to follow. I'm a fan of Edgerton and his work, so when I realized he was in this film, my excitement for it increased. I was not disappointed by what he brought to the table for this isolated team of people. He's an American helicopter pilot running supply operations to the bases. He and his two co-pilots are left in the dark as to why they are there and what is the mysterious thing that the scientists have found. This also gave them a different perspective into the events that would happen. Next, folks, we are going to return once again to Genius University and talk about Ulrich Thompson's character, Dr. Sander Halvorsen.
Who?
The arrogant, cutthroat, barely ever happy, kick a cat across the street Danish leader of the alien research. No respect, no care for anyone else, no teamwork, no professionalism, no trust, liar. He is the one who orders the team to obtain the sample of the recently discovered creature despite Kate giving him several warnings. Of course, he had to lash out at her for contradicting him in front of the others. Smooth move, Doc. Smooth move. The other characters in the film worked in my opinion as well, all of them being a kaleidoscope of various people doing the research at the outpost and peeking at the one chance to make the greatest discovery in the history of mankind. The characters might be the greatest victory of the film, or maybe they're the greatest defeat for those that are not fans of this film. Do they stand up to the 1982 version of characters? Probably not, but I do think they're pretty good. Truth of the matter is, only you can decide. Number 4, CGI over practical. This is the topic that really gets under my skin if you smell what I'm cooking. The 1982 classic was a monumental benchmark of sci-fi horror. All of its elements from A to Z were outstanding. There was no ham and egging it at all.
You're goddamn right.
The production team and filmmakers did something truly special. All of that being said, one of the most incredible things out of so many incredible things was its creative, horrific, and innovative practical effects by Rob Bottin. There are many that say that this film is the example of what practical effects can be. Now, as a kid, when I first viewed it, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw what Rob Bottin and company were able to do with this creature. Today, many years later, I'm even more amazed and impressed. No one in their right mind would backtrack on one of the greatest strengths of this film, would they? Would they? Get ready for a ride, folks. Let's all buckle in. Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. of Amalgamated Dynamics created the practical creature effects for the film. In addition to creating the visual effects for the human thing transformations, their team had the challenge of coming up with the look of the alien in the ice block unearthed by the Norwegians. Now, while it was initially only intended to be shown as a silhouette, the director loved their designs and encouraged them to fully create the creature, which was realized by creating a monster suit that Tom Woodruff wore. The effects team opted to use cable-operated animatronics over complex hydraulic controls, as that they felt that they gave a more organic feel. Unfortunately, Universal appeared to be really tiptoeing around the thing in multiple aspects. It makes me wonder how much confidence did they truly have in this film from the get-go. But wait, it's about to get worse for the production. While the film was originally set for release in April, Universal Pictures changed the date to October 14th, 2011 to allow time for reshoots. An official studio press release stated the intention of the reshoots was to, quote, enhance existing sequences or to make crystal clear a few story beats or to add punctuation marks to the film's feeling of dread, end quote.
And you blew it! You blew it!
Universal had test screenings of an early version of the film to show to focus groups, the reactions to which the studio interpreted as negative. In response, many scenes involving character development were either cut from the film or reshot to be shortened, as the studio disliked the slow boil pace of the film. Now wait a minute, how is that even possible? The slow boil pace of the film, that's one of the hallmarks of the 1982 film that gave it such legendary status. How can we go against that? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Another concern was that the use of practical effects made the film look too much like an 80s movie. The decision was made to replace most of the film's practical effects with CGI. In post-release interviews, Alec Gillis revealed that while ADI's creature designs for the film remained mostly intact, most of their practical effects ended up being digitally replaced in post-production. Writer Eric Hesserer stated that the decision broke his heart. Matthias Van Hannigan also expressed regret over replacing the film's practical effects with CGI, saying, quote, "I know this is a debated topic, but looking back, we were caught in a cross zone where the animatronics were old-fashioned and the CGI just wasn't good enough. We made the wrong decision to do it in post-production when it came to making the monster design in the computer. I regret that now." End quote. Call it one of the biggest film mistakes of all time if you like. I will not argue that point. The practical work set up for this film looked quite amazing in its own right, and I would have loved to see it played out the way it was meant to be. Once again, the studio brass shows us how Genius University keeps getting flunkies right and left. Van Hannigan went into this film with the right mindset and a good game plan and came out of it short of the goal line.
It is not in the file. It is not.
Number 5, the finale. As so many aspects of the film started to come together, we start to head into the finale. For some viewers, the finale is as important as anything that comes before it. You have to stick the landing. This is how many will remember your movie. The thing gets the finale right and wrong at the same time. How, you ask? Well, after the fillings test, which by the way, was a great scene playing effectively off of the blood test in '82, we have the ultimate thing attack. The CGI rears its ugly head more often than not, and we get the higher casualty count as the thing carves its way through the team like a hot knife through butter. Multiple scenes line up perfectly with what we will know will happen in Carpenter's film, and credit must be given to the attention to detail. Also, it was awesome seeing Adam becoming the split face, which was such an iconic piece and an iconic scene monster from the '82 version. The first time watching, I marveled at how accurate the filmmakers made this film a true bridge into the '82 world.
That would be inconceivable.
The damage set, the axe strike, the unaliving, it all works. But then we have Kate and Carter chasing Halverson's thing, called the Sander thing, to the ship. This is where everything gets dicey. The reveal of the inside of the craft was quite interesting and truly opened up a new chapter in Thing lore. Don't forget to play some Tetris before the final battle. Yeah, that's right, we're going there. Kate is inside and has to deal with the Sander thing, and it's not the stuff of legend, that's for sure. It looks as you would expect a subpar CGI monster to look. Also, why wouldn't the thing absorb Kate rather than throw her around and play stalker? I'm shaking my head as much as you, but wait, there's even more trash to pick up on the side of the road. When Kate goes into a small crawlway, the thing can't reach her. Why not divide up and get her as been shown in the film prior to this? I know, you can't get her yet because she has to survive till the end. And guess what? She defeats the creature. As a matter of fact, she does it in slow-mo. I'll also forget the fact that the thing grabbed her by the leg before that to pull her out of the crawlway. Again, start absorbing her. What's going on? On his Facebook page, Matthias Van Hannigan claimed that the reshoots of the film included making an entirely different ending, referring to the original cut as the pilot version and the new cut as the Tetris version. In the original ending, Kate was to discover the original pilots of the spaceship, which had all been killed by the thing, which was an escaped specimen that they had collected from another planet, implying that the ship was crashed in an attempt to kill the monster. He said, "I liked that idea because it would be the Norwegian camp in space. Kate sees the pod room and one pod being broken, giving the clues of what happened. What didn't work was that she wanted to find Sander and stop the ship from taking off and still solve the mystery in the ship. These two energies were in conflict. The original ending had Kate finding the corpse of the alien of the spaceship, discovering that it had accidentally come into contact with the Fang while collecting biological specimens on a zoological expedition, and deliberately killing itself by cutting off its own air supply, and crashed its ship in an attempt to kill the Fang. For the new ending, ADI's practical animatronic alien pilot was replaced by a CGI display of rapidly shifting cubes, in other words, Tetris, and the addition of a CGI Sander thing that was created at the last minute, and the director said, "It shows, unfortunately." Carter shows up as the thing gets blown to Kingdom Come. The explosion shuts down the ship's power and is revealed to be visible as we saw in Carpenter's film. Lastly is the business to explain Kate and Carter's absence from 82. It is a mild surprise as she notices that he isn't wearing an earring anymore, which indicates that Carter is an imposter. Kate takes care of it with the flamethrower. "Goodbye, Carter. You almost made it, bro. No updates of the Cavaliers for you." She gets into the second snowcat and stares into her deathly destiny. Sad, hopeless, and utterly grim, the downfall of Kate reigns on all of our parades. She obviously wasn't going to make it to the Russian camp. Somehow, the credits stinger finds a way to lift up a roller coaster of a finale by showing the dog escape the camp and Lars being revealed as the shooter we saw in 82. The Thule helicopter with pilot Matthias lands and Lars immediately tells him to chase the dog, and you know what will happen next.
Yay!
A fantastic way to end this film, and makes for a great double feature in my opinion. Highs and lows for sure, but still a fun film for fans of this universe. At the end of the day, The Thing 2011 visited the horror fans like your favorite frenemy at a get-together where you have no idea if you can trust them or anyone else, and we as fans must deal with it in our own way. You have to ask yourself, was the care and respect shown to the 82 film enough to make this prequel work? Or is it a film that flew too close to the sun and got scorched? That is a question only you can answer. As always, this video is not here to make you love The Thing or to hate it. It's simply a discussion to highlight the history and aspects of it, good or bad, with you, the viewer. So what do you think? Are you a fan of The Thing? If so, tell us why. If not, let's discuss why you hate The Thing 2011. If you haven't hit the like button for more content, please do. If you're not subbed to the Nightwatch Zone, this is the time to do it and become part of this fantastic movie community where you'll never love and talk about movies the same. If you like this video, check out my other Why You Hate videos and other content here, and I'll see you there. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace.